Hi everyone, welcome back to my Elden Ring series where I make a build for every melee weapon in the game. In this episode, I'll be covering the short sword, which is the first weapon in the straight swords class. You can purchase one of these swords from a merchant in North Limgrave, and they can also be easily farmed from the highwaymen in Murkwater Cave. This straight sword requires 8 strength and 10 dexterity to wield. For my build, I am power stancing 2 keen infused short swords, and I am using the Beast's Roar Ash of War. This weapon skill has your character roar and unleash a physical damage projectile. My playstyle here is fairly straightforward. I really like using the dual wield moveset of the straight swords, which is appropriate for pretty much all situations. This class is quite good for power stancing because most of the attacks have both swords hit simultaneously. In particular, I really like the default attack combo, the jumping attack, and the rolling attack. This fighting style really reminds me of those gladiators in the movies who fight with 2 swords at once, which is the sort of aesthetic I sought to emulate for this build. I think the Beast Roar Ash of War also fits well with this theme as the battle cry of our gladiator character. This Ash of War also helps make up for the fairly short range of our weapons themselves. I find that the roar is a great opening move at the beginning of our fights, as well as a good way to keep up pressure on our enemies when they move out of range. Overall, I really like this build because it doesn't really try to do anything fancy, and is just a nice basic dex build. The bare bones playstyle has a sort of charm that I can't quite describe, but it's just so fun and satisfying to play through the game with for some reason. Let me know if you guys agree. Anyway, for my stats, at level 150, I have 60 vigor, 19 mind, 30 endurance, 10 strength, 80 dexterity, and 10 intelligence, faith, and arcane. We have lots of points in vigor and endurance, which is of course very helpful, and we also have a moderate amount of mind. At 19 mind, we are able to use our roar attack 12 times before needing to drink a blue flask. Our only important damage stat is dexterity, which our weapons get an A scaling with thanks to the keen infusion. This is also the optimal infusion for our Ash of War choice, as the damage of Beast's Roar scales with dexterity as well. For my armor set, I did my best to exemplify what a famous veteran gladiator might have worn in the arena. I am using the Duelist Helm, the Champion Pauldron, the Iron Rivet Gauntlets, and Radahn's Greaves. For my talismans, I first have the Rotten Winged Sword insignia for more damage with successive attacks. We will be getting a lot of utility out of this talisman as long as we keep up the pressure with our double swords, rewarding us with higher damage the more aggressively we fight. I also have the Bullgoat's talisman for more poise. This helps because unfortunately our armor alone isn't quite good enough to prevent us from getting staggered by basic enemy attacks, but this talisman puts us over that 51 poise threshold. Next I have the Shard of Alexander for more skill damage, and finally the Roar Medallion for an even further boost to our skill damage, since Beast Roar is obviously a roar attack. For the Flask of Wondrous Physic, I am using the Green Burst Crystal tier for better stamina recovery, and also the Thorny Crack tier for more damage with successive attacks, which stacks with the Rotten Wing Talisman. And that is all I have for this short sword build video. Thank you for watching, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.